Still get lost in it.
Oh, don't get lost in it. So this is a great example. So remember the triple T. So if you're going to go in, you tell them what you're going to tell them, right? And let's say you have 3 points, okay? You get to the first point, and then it just kind of goes for a long time, right? Can I please use the chocolate?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. So if you're going with a 10-minute time limit, here's how I pitch my idea. Whenever I'm thinking of a speech, I always break it up into quads. So let's say it's like a 10-minuter, right? I only want to really use about 10% the intro, 10, maybe 15% into the introduction, so that's here. If I got 3 points to cover, then that means I have roughly about 2 minutes, 30 seconds-ish, a point. So I have to be pretty much on time and moving on to the next point. So getting lost in it is, I forgot what I was talking about, so I figured that more was better than none, and just went into the second point. So all that time got lost. So getting lost in it is just a matter of pacing, which is really tough. But you can take care of that with just practicing it. And then it's also great, if you have other students, this is how I did it in Toastmasters. It's like a really hard one. The last speech I gave was something about the economic situation, right? Studied economics. If I had to pitch that off somebody, hey, could you just sit here for 10 minutes and listen to my speech, and let me know what you think? At that point, it really helps. Then you already know what you're saying, and you'll minimize any of the chance of running over and totally messing up your timing. Because when you get messed up in your timing, you get rushed. And maybe the best point that they want to know about was the third point, and you only have like 5 seconds to cover it, or you have to cut it completely. Otherwise, it would mess up the whole speech. Does that answer your question, sir? Okay. So that's really how I'm going to have to approach that first part, the basic speaking. You just have to make sure that you really have intention when you want to speak to somebody. And also make sure that you're respecting their time. And in that case, you automatically have good structure. So I wanted to talk about using your voice and body. Now, as I was saying earlier, your speaking is about 90% physical and about 10% what you're saying. People buy people. They're not buying your idea, mostly, until after you get to the point where they see you as an expert. So pitching yourself means you represent yourself properly. You hold yourself with confidence. So I'm going to give you eye contact. This is a good one. In Western society, this one is probably going to be the most important in how to connect with your audience. I'm going to touch on just a couple, because how many people here are not actually originally from the United States? Okay, so I'm going to make sure to give you guys a little something. I've been teaching Makiko too, so don't worry. Body movement, position. It's great just making points, and we'll get into that. And, yeah, using your voice.
That's huge. Especially when your teacher only can hear out one ear.
Oh, absolutely. I can take care of that problem as well. So eye contact, scanning a room. This one's really tough in a big room and really easy all at the same time, because no matter where your head is, your eyes are always going to be there. So it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 people in a room or just 13. I can scan just as far with my head this way as that way. We want to make sure that you're scanning the whole room. Everybody that is looking at you can see you. You're looking into each other's eyes, even if it's just for a little bit of time. It's super important, because it gives people a sense of connection. And this is how you're going to sell ideas that are going to be more esoteric or non-physical. So if you're going to try to pitch somebody with the idea of, I don't know, let's see. What's an idea that you had for a design that you had a lot of passion about? New York.
Chair design.
Chair design. Okay. So when you're speaking to somebody about your chair design, what's going on in your head? I mean,
Well, I'm kind of enlightening them why I'm so passionate about it. Why my design is, why I came up with design. Why you should like design.
and that passion can be seen through your eyes. And this is why most people in Western society want to see somebody's eyes. Now, there was an old quote that I read, which was about like a mob hitman, and he said, if you really wanted to do the job, you never look people in the eyes because you can see their humanity. Yeah, it's tough. It's a deep quote, but you have to think about that in the context of your speech. If you want to impart emotion to somebody, you're not going to sell them on the logic. People don't buy logic. They buy because they like the speaker, or they like the intention of what they're buying. they're buying a solution to their pain. So your intention and your love of the chair or your design would make them so much better. That's what they're buying. When you look in their eyes, they can see if you're lying or if you're just trying to play a face. You can't hide your eyes. It's really tough. So a way to get around that, actually, if you don't have the most intention, is to slowly drift. Don't focus on just one person. Otherwise, everyone else will feel lost or left out. They won't feel this person. Yeah. Oh, come on. I'll see people looking at you. And warm eyes. Again, it goes back to your intention. As long as you have that seated inside, when you're speaking and you're knowledgeable of your idea, you're confident, nobody's going to take that away from you. You can speak to your heart's desire, and people will listen. As long as you're coming at them with the eyes of someone who knows what they're talking about. Even if you don't. So, next one. Body movements and positions. How do you use your arms? How many people speak in this manner? Or have you seen somebody speak like this? Or this one's really bad. There's the hands behind the back, and this guy, you know, the wavy feet. Your hands. People get anxious when you don't see their hands. This comes goes back to, you know, the best part I love about speaking is so primordial. Everybody who's getting spoken to, you're speaking to them at a basic level. So the psychology of how you approach really digs in. So if people can't see your hands, they wonder what you have in your hands. Okay? Whereas if people can see your hands, they can focus on your speech because they're not worried about what you're hiding. Okay? So.
Or John McCain kind of doing karate chops.
Yeah, he does the
That's
box.
very distracting.
Yeah, McCain's got the box action, so his hands don't need this action. Which is really fun.
I find that really distracting, actually. And once I learned that you can't go like this, that's all I would see.
Oh, yeah.
You can't raise it up.
Well, it's the same thing with the Bob Dole, where he's got the pen.
Yeah.
Same pen all the time. It's always great. Looking at people's hands will tell you exactly how often they like to speak. If they don't know what to do with them, it's really funny. And you get always great examples of that. With McCain. So, placement in the room. You've got the arm. When I'm moving to a different topic, sometimes I'll switch up because your head will be in one position for too long. And if I make you move, your attention gets shifted again to me, not necessarily whatever you're thinking about. So that's why I keep moving a little bit here and there, or every once in a while I'll just do a little bob. And your face is telling me what you need me to do. So usually you start zoning a bit, or you, I know I gotta move. Just a teeny bit. And I have an active classroom whenever I teach, so everybody is gonna be called on. That's just how it works. That's how I roll. So, moving people's bodies, moving their physical body, will give them a lot more, again, you're plugging them into you. So if they're tuned into you, they'll move with you. If they're not, you know exactly which people in the room you have to try to get back into the speech. So that's a great technique for gauging your audience and gauging who's listening and who isn't. And then you can pick those people out as well. So how do you use notes? Can anyone show me how they use their notes when they're giving a speech? You. How do you normally hold your speech? You don't use them?
Very many speeches. Well, I haven't had some speeches.
Great. Who knows somebody that holds their notes like this and reads from them? I mean, have you seen this in your life? Not you guys. It's good, but people who read these like this, and then they look at notes. Notes rock on the table. Or, here's a great example. Sometimes you'll get like a podium, but this is all the audience can see, because they got a podium in front of you, so your whole body is all blocked, right? You gotta make sure to get this done. You'll see this. Sometimes you go to clients, and they'll have like a podium or a lectern, and they assume you to stand there. They want you to stand there and do their proposal from that fixed place. That one sucks so bad. You'll go into clients, trust me. If you're going to a client where they had like a fixed place where they want you to stand, suggestion for you, this one works so good. If you're just talking one-to-one with somebody, you're pitching over a desk, ask